Hello and welcome back. This is the third in the series of the 7 Foundations of Health. This week we're going to cover food, and there's so much to say here. But an easy rule of thumb would be to eat foods that naturally come from the earth, that come from trees, bushes, or the ground, and that run, fly, or swim. And if you're a vegetarian, I truly understand your struggle. The point of this is to remind you to eat from nature's bounty. So remember back a few weeks ago when we talked about if you don't take care of your body, where will you live? And frankenfood, and how we're known here in America to eat frankenfood, and we have been for a long time. But we cannot have this. We cannot stand for this. We cannot tolerate this. We have to make changes, and the only way you change is to change with your vote. You vote with your dollars and what you bring into your home to feed your family. So what we should not eat is processed food, shrink-wrapped foods, things along those lines. Artificial dyes. Why? They're neurotoxins. We don't want those in our body. We don't want those in our children's body. Sugar, it does many things, but just a few things is alters brain chemistry. It lowers the immune system. There's a reason why after Halloween, it really shoots up. Illnesses really shoot up. And it feeds underlying illnesses as well. And high fructose corn syrup, that's very destructive to the liver. So I would say that, you really have to start looking at the back of the ingredients and what you're eating, because you have to know what you're putting in your body. And lastly, I would say what not to eat is hydrogenated fats. That is suffocating to your cells. So if you can think about that, and I always tell this, Dr. Mark Hyman talks about how it's like eating liquid plastic. I love that. I love that imagery because that, to me, that's like crossbones. You do not want that in your body and in your family's body. What to eat, right? So we know whole, organic, fresh, raw fruits and vegetables, clean proteins, beans, grass-fed meats, free-range poultry, wild-caught fish. We don't want conventional foods because they're not taken care of properly. So we want to be careful and, again, purchase with your dollars about more humane, and that could be argued in many different directions, but more humanely raised. Complex carbohydrates because they burn slowly. Healthy fats, so what will they be? Cold water fish, absolutely. Nuts, avocado, and then your oils, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, and grass-fed butter, really important. Healthy fats are a very important part of our cells and required for hormone production, and that's your steroid hormones, your absorption of specific vitamins, and brain health, especially for females and especially for children, There's an article I wrote in Luxury Living many years ago. I have a link that is within the email that I sent out. And the last thing I want to point out is preparing our food properly. Very important. Something, sort of a back to basics, not sort of, a back to basics. Praying over our food and putting that energy, blessing our food before we eat it, and eating within certain times of the day. And the last point I will make here is how important it is to eat foods that cleanse your body, to remove toxins from the body. And I'll cover that more in detail when I'm done with these foundations. The toxins come from many, many unsuspecting avenues, and discernment is really critical. And I'll leave you with this, something that my grandmother used to tell me as a small child. I would sit there and she would tell me all sorts of wonderful things that really set my life in motion. Who knew? I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and I would listen to her. But some of the things were, do not have blind faith, because historically blind faith has been disastrous. And question everything. Do not just accept things, question everything, and beware of the voice of authority. And I just wanted to leave you with that. I'll see you next week. Have a great week.